the expectation from the budget 2022, the two or three biggest expectation we can found that should be the priorities for the this year budget, union budget that 2022 will be. And we are getting ready for an excellent year for the economy, and that the budget is expected to focus on the three main things. The first is strengthening the public health infrastructure, ensuring that we are ready for any variant of the virus. Our population is vaccinated and we have the infrastructure to take care of that people in the pandemic. And in the last budget, that was a significant step up in the healthcare spending. That hope that it has enhanced the future situation. I mean, to control the recent pandemic situation. And the second is to support the vulnerable population. The Prime Minister has announced those schemes and those projects that providing the free service to many of the people in India during this difficult time, and there are significant support for the rural employment to ensure healing of scares caused by this recent pandemic that has occurred. The third is public investment in the form of national investment pipeline. The decisions that have been taken regarding the National Bank for the infrastructure development and will be able to provide the excellent debt financing for the public investment, and it is already providing a significant equity for the infrastructure project. And with the economy roaring back, we will see the significant public investment, and we will reach the net zero carbon emission by 2070. That means the massive green transformation, particularly in the infrastructure field. And there is nothing to argue on the priority that the issue is the difference between the aspirations that is yet to be fulfilled and the reality that has in front of us. And that's the next priority, that over the people, that have more people move from the cities to the farm for the job, resulting in the tremendous demand and the opposition and opposite who wanted for the country, that is the people that attended for the social safety. And another point related to the small businesses that is disrupted by the demonetization and the GST. Many sectors were hit in the pandemic. The Atmanirbhar package that involved borrowing more people rather than giving those payment and checks, and through that, and the NIP that has been announced in each of the last three budgets, and sometimes between the budget too. Maybe the financing is still being working out and for the many of us. And the other concern that is putting more money in people's pocket, we have been seeing the rising fuel taxes over since that has been on the rising inflation that is hurting the people's ability to trigger the demand that will influence the growth. Instead of V-shaped growth, we are seeing the K-shaped growth. And that was from the sector that growing and others hurting terribly. During this pandemic and this tough time in the last 20 months, there is some V-shaped growth has been occurred. But also we are seeing those K-shaped growth, because, and that's the reason that the economy is facing many aspects, many angles, and the multiple nature we have seen in the economy, and that's because of the pandemic, and we have to deal with this terrible situation that some sectors are not facing enough potential, enough growth and the expectation to meet those expectations in this tough time. And the country is also able to provide, the government is initiating, provide the excellent debt financing for the public investment that is already providing the equity for the infrastructure. And with the economy roaring back, we will see a significant public investment. Any government that has three priorities in the budget, that the growth, redistribution, and the budget for the common goals such as environment and the security. It has two instruments for those, the fiscal policy and the economic policy. The government is going to emphasize on the public and the capital expenditure, which can be on two routes. It has own public sector enterprises and its own capital expenditure. There will be greater emphasis on both. The growth agenda will be serviced by the more capital expenditure, the redistribution and the focus that has been on providing the thing that makes life better, including the water, LPG, electricity and the sanitation. The agenda has been substantially serviced, but there is more to be done. So there will be a further emphasis on that particular issue. On the redistributions, many schemes were designed to provide the resources to the poor, and that will increase the government in turning the populist, and it seems to the farmer, non-farmer laborers and other government factors that deal with this pandemic and the economic policy. There will be a little less emphasis on the reforms. Thanks to the farmers' bill, their privatization and those privatization agenda that has moved, there will be a lesser emphasis on that particular issue. We need a proper long-term export strategy for the manufactured goods, and the success in the service is not enough. Any strategy for the export will be very important. The export capital expenditure, and within that the infrastructure capital expenditure are three focus areas of the government that where we can grow faster and get a proper per capita income to a reasonable level. The Indian government has a state-owned enterprises which should be used for the funding infrastructure. There should be a clear strategy. A recent report says that a 10% of the spend as a stimulus package, the actual value of the stimulus is much lower. And even there, only 10% of that particular amount has disbursed. And that while the world is following those paths, that has been an illusion, and the people are moving back to the farms and labor force participation that came down, and the employment level are over 8% in unemployment level, is 8% in urban area and 7% in rural. So there is a huge problem. The stimulus package was to turn things around. Why is this happening? Because we have not seen the direct investment to make life better for the small businesses. There have been some attempt, but we need more. A lot needs to be done to take care of the base of those pyramid, the structure of these small businesses, along with those investment and the benefit of growth reaches them too. There is those components for the stimulus packages that use for those segment, the targeted segment, and the poor and those distressed people, survival, who lost job or the survival for this tough time, this recent pandemic situation. That's the way the government is provide those stimulus packages to boost the economy, to take care of those income losses and those larger support for the sustaining demand, to maintain those drive growth for the economy, to maintain those sustainability, to transform this K-shaped recovery to the V-shaped recovery. That's transformation from the tough time the economic sector faces to get back to the normal situation that can be driving the desired result of those GDP growth rate, and that's the expected support the economy will provided for using those stimulus packages. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.